Hello and welcome to Buyer's Guide, the consumer advice show that helps you make an informed decision as to the best vehicle you could possibly buy.
Yep, and on this week's show, we help a gentleman with his diesel dilemma.
We also help a very fortunate viewer choose between a Ford Focus RS or a Ford Mustang.
But we also help a lady with 5 kids choose a reliable 7-seater. Now, joining us in studio today to answer all these questions is Chris Kuhn from Webuycars and Mark Smythe from Business Day Motor News.
And our first question comes in from Dion, who's looking to upgrade his 2010 VW Jetta 1.6 TDI with a more powerful diesel car. He's looking at a 2012 Ford Focus, 2010 VW Jetta, or a 2012 BMW 320 diesel. Chris, how many of the 320 diesels do you sell?
Quite a lot, actually.
And how good are they?
It depends, hey? It depends on...
Yeah, see, you could deep breath there.
Depends on where they came from. It depends on the mileage. I mean, do they still have plan? Is something extended there? But I mean, they really aren't as bad as everyone says they are. Do they give issues? Of course. I don't think that they're that bad.
Okay.
Mark, there's choice there of a couple of diesels.
Yeah, it's he doesn't mention what the budget is, just that he's going to trade his Jetta in. So, I mean, Ford Focus 2-litre TDCi, good car, and also a bit newer than the others that he's going to get. BMW, if he's looking, I don't know if he's looking for a hatch by mentioning things like the Focus. So maybe a 130D might also be able to get a little bit older. That's a good car. But I'd say just, Volkswagen guy, get a Golf TDI.
A Golf diesel.
Yeah.
Not even on his list, go and buy a Golf diesel.
Yeah,
Well,
easy, done.
That's Mark's opinion. I'd say stay away from another Jetta. You had one. Why would you want another one?
Yeah.
I mean, really. 320 diesel catches me. I think it's most probably, out of all of the 3 series, it's the best one in terms of reliability, performance, economy. So if you want a sedan, that's the version to go for. And if you want a dark horse, the Focus is really good. And as Mark says, it's most probably the newest of the bunch.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I kind of like the Ford Focus over the others.
Seggy's agreeing with us.
Yeah, but and you saying, the only reason you're saying Ford Focus is because your name's in it, right?
No, because it's a good car. So we're going to move on to our second question. Comes from a Rev, I don't know if it's a Reverend Pollen or Rev Pollen, whose 2006 Mahindra Scorpio has recently been written off. He's wondering whether to buy another one or look for something a bit like an older generation BMW 3 Series or a Chrysler PT Cruiser. No.
Hey, Mark, why
joking.
don't you
And he's got
recommend a Photon?
A Photon Tundra. Photon Tundra.
Okay, guys, you've got a budget of 70 grand. So let's tell you about the PT Cruiser. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. There we go. It's easy, as simple as that. Don't buy the PT Cruiser.
Don't go near the PT Cruiser.
Okay, then what about a Mahindra Scorpio? Buy another one.
No.
Okay, so budget of 70,000 rand. Look, you can get a Mahindra Scorpio for that. And he may have liked his previous Scorpio. I don't think we're much great fans of that.
I'd buy a Toyota Hilux without wheels, gearbox, and diff
For 70 grand.
for 70 grand and find it and fix it up.
Chris would buy something, recommend something decent. 70,000 rand, not a big budget.
Because he had the Scorpio, he then specifically mentions a BMW 3 Series or whatever the case may be, and then the Cruiser. So it looks like he wants to move into a vehicle, perhaps a sedan or whatever the case may be. So I figured, why not get an older Polo if your budget's only 70 grand because it's quite reliable, or an old Corolla. I mean, you can't go wrong with a car like that.
Absolutely
I think that's the way to go for him. If specifically, if he didn't want a Hilux, which I didn't disagree with, I think the Hilux is brilliant.
He's going to get one with like 5 million kilometers on
it was.
Yeah.
Let him do that.
Okay.
Alternatively,
If he wants a Bakkie.
Corolla. If he wanted a Bakkie, go that route.
Mark, 70 grand car? Not really. I mean, you live above these means.
I've got a mate in the UK selling a BMW 323i Coupe E46 for £1,000. That would fit
No
well with the
MOT,
budget.
no.
No, it's perfectly looked after, neat and tidy.
Imported.
So bring that one in. But yeah, you know what? 30% of driving's on gravel roads, so you need something that's been designed and engineered for South African conditions as well.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm kind of inclined to go Corolla as well.
Yeah. The one thing about a Corolla, even if you do drive it on gravel roads, it does have quite a sturdy suspension. You know, there are the European cars tend to have rather weak suspensions because they're designed to have a nice cushy drive, where the Japanese are sort of very basic but sturdy. So something like a Corolla, 70,000 rand, you're going to get, Chris, a reasonable Corolla for that?
Absolutely, and it's well made. It's like you said, even if you drove it for 30% of the time on a decent gravel road, even a bad one, I think the car would perform. It wouldn't give any issues. The only issue you'd have is the dust factor, which you'd have to clean up. But I mean, failing
no
that,
matter what he drives,
no matter what he drives, I think that is a great choice for him.
How about a car to suit his job, like a Toyota Camry? so he can put you off to sleep as he drives into the church.
Okay. But I don't
would
think
eat
you
up
get
the
those.
gravel road.
They're not around anymore, fortunately. Okay.
Okay, our next question is from Maverick, who has a budget of 300,000 Rand and is looking at either the VW Scirocco or the VW6 Golf GTI. He requires navigation, but most importantly, and above all else, he wants something with street cred. Gentlemen, both these cars will give him street cred.
No
won't
doubt.
they?
They will, yeah. The GTI, look, you know, he could buy anything actually and just fit a portable navigation device in the windscreen, so that would sort that one out. But, you know, he's mentioned specifically the Golf 635 edition,
Yeah.
which is a great car, and it's a little bit different to your normal GTI. So, you know, if that's the way he's looking, and I would, to be honest, I love the Scirocco, but I would probably also go Golf, if that's his choice.
A little bit more practical as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's only one person, the Scirocco's cool. You know, it's you and your girlfriend or you and your wife or whatever. Scirocco's cool, but it's not as practical as the Golf. Chris?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's cool if you're alone until that day, then you need to pick up two people from the airport, and then you hate it, and you got the seat forward, and then it isn't a nice car. I agree. I mean, not to sound the same as everyone, but the Golf is the way to go. I mean, you get the manual and the DSG option. He can make his choice. I think the Golf is practical, street cred, the whole 9 yards.
Why he wants navigation? Maybe he gets lost a lot. I don't know.
But he should just buy himself.
Yeah, but you can get any of those aftermarket.
Even a
navigation,
cell phone has got it. I mean, you sort it.
Yeah, and you can buy for most cars. You can actually buy aftermarket systems that if you find a car that you think is cool, maybe you find a Scirocco or GTI, it doesn't have the sat nav in it, you can buy those systems that fit in there.
Yes.
With Bluetooth
It's
connectivity.
vehicle specific, yeah.
Yeah.
Vehicle specific. So you don't like the Scirocco because of the practicality.
Just because of practicality.
Yeah, and I suppose also with Scirocco, it'll be easier to find a better GTI than a
Because there's so many
than a
more to
Scirocco.
choose from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's also a boy racer sort of thing because now the Sirocco's tend to get a bit of a hammering, don't they?
But also, I mean, if the 35 edition tended to be bought, you know, a few of them got screamed, but I mean, the 35 people, the proper GTI enthusiasts, went for that because they wanted to stand out above all the other GTIs. So it's probably a well looked after car, and I'm pretty sure it came standard with nav actually.
Quickly, Mark, the GTI 35 edition, can you remember what the differences were?
It's got a red badge on the side.
Besides
Yeah.
the red badge of
Slightly
35
different.
edition.
I
It was
mean,
uprated
it was-
engine, was
yeah,
it?
Kilowatt
slightly
difference?
uprated, different exhaust.
Suspension,
the
lowered
wheels
suspension?
were different.
The
I don't
wheels.
think it was.
Suspension wasn't lowered.
No, I
No,
don't think so.
different wheels
And
then
obviously a
uprated
kitted
kilowatts.
interior.
Okay.
So it just, mostly cosmetic-y sort of stuff.
It's one of those things that it's just sort of brings a little bit more attention to the brand when it's on its rollout and before the new
Like
Golf.
an anniversary edition almost.
Okay.
Cool. So if you can find a good 35 edition Golf GTI, that would be cool. But stay tuned because after the break, we help a gentleman decide between a Dodge Caliber and a GWM H5, and we help a very fortunate gentleman decide between one of my favorite cars, Ford Focus RS or a Ford Mustang.